Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 15 of Modcast. Today joining us is an author, notorious and clever and intelligent, and is responsible for putting the name Brandoman on the map. CDante, thanks for joining us today.
Hi. How's it going?
The man responsible for nearly all of Brandoman's mods, maybe? Would you say 95% or 90% of Brandoman's mods are yours?
Well,
100%.
he is the one making all the work with the music and the audio stuff. He's the one who hires the voice actors and writes the scripts, and I'm the one who's putting the radios into the game.
So you're saying you're responsible for all of it. Okay, I understand. I'm taking that into.
I'm responsible for the modding work, the actual modding work and the scripts.
If anything, you sort of bring it to life, So you're saying he might be a guy who comes up with the ideas, and you actually.
Yeah, definitely. He's the mastermind behind all the ideas, and he's responsible for all the content. I'm just putting basically the audio files into the game.
Awesome, but you've got an even bigger sugar daddy than that. You've got Shoddycast as well. Who you did those mods as well. You're responsible for Wasteland Codex, which is currently going very strong.
Yeah, I'm really proud of it, and I like to work together with the Shoddycast because I'm a big fan of the Storyteller series. So everything that Storyteller I like to create and do new content for the game.
What do you think of the recent change in management? Do you still feel like you can continue the mod, or do you feel is it sort of coming to a big end as a result of the change? Or
right now I'm sitting here next to a Fallout Brotherhood poster on my wall with Mark Mear's signature. Cool. So obviously I'm a bit sad about the changes regarding the Shoddycast, but. I can absolutely understand that the guys didn't have time or energy to continue the YouTube channel on the same level. So I think what Austin is the guy's name, right? I think he does is great, definitely something different. But I hope that. We as mod makers can still create, for example, storyteller content for Fallout 4 or future Fallout games if they give their blessing.
Mm-hmm. For those that don't know, Shoddycast has changed management recently, unfortunately, bringing an end to their film and possibly some storyteller content. So that's pretty unfortunate, but I'm glad we got a few great mods out of it. CDante. And also joining us today is Kris, as usual. Say
hey, Kris.
Hello.
Hello, Kris.
I'm just like a puppet. You have to tell me to say hi, and I say hi.
Oh, not at all. I would just. That is okay. And but let's talk about your newest mods and your sort of largest mods that people might or might not know you for. What made you want to start modding in the first place? I mean, obviously you did. To go into Skyrim with the Pirates, you went to Fallout 4, so what made you want to hop on Fallout 4?
Well, I started playing Bethesda games with Fallout 3. I never played Oblivion or Morrowind, but I love the Fallout series back in the 90s as well, so I played the first two as well. And Fallout 3 was my first Bethesda game. I ever since I started to play Fallout 3, I always played Bethesda games by using console commands and trying to fix some freezes or whenever my player stuck in a quest or something. So basically, I kinda knew how the game works. But I never considered making mods back then. And obviously Skyrim was the next big one. I played some New Vegas as well, but Skyrim was the next big Bethesda game that I played a lot. And somehow when I started to play Fallout 4, I don't know, maybe I had more time in my life back then in 2015, and the first thing I wanted to change in the game was with I guess with many mod authors is was a texture. So when I installed the mod satellite world maps, I just wanted to change the texture to show the unmarked locations on the map. That's it. And I figured out how to edit DDS files, and then came that feeling, the first feeling when I made something that actually made changes within the game. That was fantastic. And from that point, I just started to learn new things. And early 2016, I released my first mod, which is called All Camo Uniforms, which adds 30 new camo patterns to vanilla outfits, and that was fairly popular. On that level, I got a lot of positive feedbacks, and that was the second thing that made me continue modding, and then I started to look into scripting from my second mod.
That's incredible. Cool. And so what made you go into the radio? Like, obviously you've made a bunch of radio stations with Brandoman. So what made you want to sort of join up with him to sort of create all these
well, first of all, I'm a big fan of, and I was a big fan of Old World Radio as a mod user, and I started to create texture replacers for the settlement radios that you can create at settlements, for in the design that matched the various channels, the various radio stations the mod provided. And I messaged Brandoman on Nexus Mods. I showed him these retextures, and he really liked it. And that's how we started to chat about the possibilities and the future of the mod, and one thing led to another, and I started to help him out with future updates of the mod. That was back when Old World Radio had like 7 or 9 stations, and right now Old World Radio has 30 radio stations. Jesus. And Old World Radio, and Old World Radio 2 has like 6 or 7.
Oh, there's
I guess.
2. There's like 36. That's a lot.
By the way, Chris, I just wanted to say that I'm also a big fan of Atomic Radio. That was
thanks.
That was the other radio mod I always had installed.
You know, you started out as a texture person. That surprised me, because I've always known you as like just this like amazing scripter. But that was your second mod. You said you started to learn scripting, so you don't have like a programming background or like a scripting background. You kind of learn from scratch.
Well, basically, I'm a programmer.
Okay.
I currently am working as a web designer, web developer. So, and I also learned a lot of programming languages and environments at university. So, picking up another script language like Papyrus was relatively easy for me. And it just started with textures, because that was the first thing that I wanted to change in the game. But after that, after I realized that wow, I can make things that change the game actually, and if I share it, people are enjoying it. That was that feeling that
it's addictive.
that yeah, absolutely addictive. That's the right word. Yeah.
And then you came up to your masterpiece, which was after and made your own name and made your masterpiece with the press X to Sean.
Absolutely.
Yes, truly magnum opus. What made you come up with that?
Well, I like to create joke modes from time to time. And
Really?
like that one, or the Creation Club mod, which is basically a golf club that creates random things in the game, or Uncle Pete's Special, which just came by watching that Fallout 76 announcement stream when Pete Hines came in and drink that booze. I don't know what was in that, maybe vodka and Nuka-Cola Quantum, and I was just bored watching that stream, so I quickly made that joke mod that puts this beverage in the game that you can craft. But yeah, so when April the 1st is approaching, I like to create something for April Fools, and Press X to Sean was like that. And the funny thing is that on my YouTube channel, that video is the most watched one. It's got like 50,000 views or something like that.
Yeah, that's how it works. I think my most watched YouTube video is like Dance selling cars or some shit like that. It's none of the actual like quest stuff gets any views. It's just all the meme stuff. Yeah, so that's how it works.
Well, my most popular YouTube video is me basically showing you what the mod is. It became so popular that people didn't think it was a mod anymore and thought that I was faking them, and then downvoted the whole thing. So that was just so. But yes, are you a fan of older games? You like to, for example, are you a fan of Heavy Rain? You know, that inspired your.
I've never played actually Heavy Rain. I think maybe it's a PS4 exclusive. I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
PS3.
PS3.
Yeah,
PS3.
it's an old game.
Yeah,
it's like
PS3.
Maybe even PS2, PS3. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's a PlayStation exclusive, if I remember correctly. So I never actually played it. I just saw this viral video on YouTube.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, meme culture is so big that you don't have to have played these games or seen these things to like know the meme. It's just you know it.
Yeah, and
it works.
Well, Sedante's in the European Union, so he won't ever see a meme ever again.
So it's like I've never heard Todd say it just works. I know he's said it. Yeah. I know it's become a meme, but I've never actually heard that. But that's how memes work.
He said it. I guess he said it a lot of time in the Fallout 4 press conference at E3 in 2015, and that's when it became a meme.
I think he said it with a Skyrim as well. But Sedante, so like you're a big memer, right? But you're sort of your supranational order has banned memes. So how do you feel about this? Do you feel concerned that you have to create your own stuff?
Actually, I wanted to ask you about that because I don't know what's that about. I never heard of it.
Oh, it's like something in the Parliament which says you can't use, like, you have to pay to use like memes or pictures, like screenshots of film.
Copyright reasons or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So like in America, there's like a fair use thing. So generally, like if you sort of copy like a screenshot of a film and like change it quite a bit, that means it's a new creation, so therefore you can use it, and that's probably led to the creation of memes, because memes use like a bunch of movies and music to create like in something entirely new. Where in the European Union you now have to pay, like if you don't own it, you have to pay to use it if the person's willing, and there's no fair use involved. So that's the situation in Europe now.
That sucks. Well, with the mod Uncle Pete special, I know that Pete Hines actually tweeted out that mod, so I'm good, I guess. And
safe, it will be in the future where you and I, well, not me obviously, but you'll be like, when someone says it just works meme, you're gonna be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, stranger. You're unfamiliar. But yes, you're sort of like, you've got a sort of collage of old games on your YouTube channel. Are you a fan? You're generally quite a fan of the old era of computer games.
Oh, you are talking about the cover picture, right? Yeah, I'm a big fan of. I played a lot of games, mainly in the 90s, and I was a big fan of, for example, point-and-click adventure games, like LucasArts games, for example. And yeah, I consider these the classics, even though I started playing games at the age of 4 on a C64, but what games are really nostalgic for me are the games from the 90s, and it was just, I don't know, it was just a cover image for my channel. Yeah.
Could you get these games in Hungary at that time, or...? Like, 'cause obviously it was still just coming out.
Yeah. Most of the time you could
whole-
buy these games. Yeah, even back in the 90s,
yeah.
of course.
So you're like a fan of point and clicks. What do you think of Telltale going under the last of the adventures?
Well, it's sad. It's sad. Obviously, I wanted to play the last season of The Walking Dead. I was also looking forward to The Wolf Among Us 2. So, yeah. But I also like Dontnod, who are making the Life is Strange series, which are, I guess, very very similar to the Telltale formula. And well, I'm not particularly happy about Telltale shutting down, but maybe these employees are gonna make similar games at another company, maybe at Ubisoft, or I don't know.
Probably. I didn't personally play any Telltale games. I played a lot of adventure games like what was it? What's the game with Guybrush Threepwood?
Monkey Island series.
Monkey Island 2 and 3, you know, played some of that, and Sam and Max. Some of the Bullfrog games as well. Like Dungeon Keeper 2 and Team Hospital.
Yeah. Those were awesome. I played a lot of Dungeon Keeper 2. And the first 3, Monkey Island, I still consider one of the best and real classics in the genre.
It's amazing they can't really recreate these games anymore. Like, I think they released a Theme Hospital kind of sequel the other day, and it's like full of bugs and can't, not really runnable. So it's ironic that Theme Hospital remains the most stable version of that genre, as it were.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I guess these games Telltale made are not really those. Well, they differ a lot from those point and clicks games from the 90s, but they are still good and story rich and basically like an interactive movie where there are a lot of quick time events. But choices don't really matter as far as I could tell.
All these games, like from the past, they just had to work because there was no patches involved.
Yeah.
Like, they either worked or you didn't
exactly.
make any money. And generally, probably over time, people just become a lot lazy. So if there's like bugs in the game, they just go, "Oh, we'll update it later," and then like next thing you know, it never gets updated, and that kind of expands outward, to your
and for most of the 80s, there wasn't internet either, so.
Yeah. So that's the way things are. But games have obviously changed kind of the profit model. So back then they were, I guess, kind of a creative thing, sort of trying to be like movies, trying to be like books, but obviously being a little bit insecure in what it was. But now, like, they've kind of firmly found a role for games, like, as a service, and it's probably, there's a lot less magic there, ironically. Speaking of which, how do you feel about Bethesda stealing your idea for transfer settlements?
Which idea are you talking about? The blueprints?
Transfer settlement, yeah.
I feel honored.
Honored, really? I would hire a word.
Well, it's their game, and it's kind of out there that... transfer settlements is a tool that could have been and maybe should have been in the vanilla game, vanilla Fallout 4 from the get-go, so... creating something like that in Fallout 76 is kind of out there, and I just hope that I contributed it to it in some level. I don't know, but I think this feature being in Fallout 76 from the start is good for everybody and good for the community.
True.
So,
well, they own our ideas from the start, right? That's in the sort of EULA at the beginning. It's like, oh, we own your ideas. You own your ideas, but we own you. So that's the kind of iron legal loophole that they have over us. So yeah. So what kind of things are you planning to work on after your storyteller quest mod, as it were? Is that just the whole thing in your headlights right now, or do you have a kind of plan ahead?
Well, I'm hoping that I will receive more content for the Wasteland Codex because I don't know how the recent changes in Shoddycast affect this, but I just hope that with Kyle we can continue working on this mod, because I really like to put more and more lore content to this database. Right now, as I mentioned before, I'm working on an update that will include my actual first quest for this codex, and it will be also a standalone quest mode. So if someone doesn't use the Wasteland Codex, they can enjoy the quest still. And after that, I have a bunch of ideas, actually, like 4 or 5 pages of just mod ideas, but the ones I feel the most important are new features for transfer settlements, such as the ability, for example, to directly export settlements into ESP or ESL files. So it would be a mod that, in fact, creates mods, which is important because then you can just save your settlement as a, I don't know, player home, or just like a build that is an ESP or ESL file that just directly places those items into the appropriate cell, and then you can just release that as your own settlement for console players as well. Well, mainly for Xbox players, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice, because like for someone like me, like I get really lazy. I don't want to build my own settlement. And then I see these people like online who just build these amazing structures, and you're just like, man, I wish I could just fucking download that and put that in my game. And now like I can, or I will be able to once I get a chance for settlements, the ESP version. I can just plop it in, like,
Yeah, and
load up the module, and it's there.
And that
right?
way you don't even have to have transfer settlements to import it. Even on PC, you can just install the ESP or the ESL file, and there you go. Of course, it will then edit that cell, which may cause some conflicts with other mods, but other than that, it's probably the easiest way to install someone else's settlement. And yeah, the creations of the community, both with transfer settlement blueprints and with sim settlements, city plans, are amazing. Some of the authors of these builds are just insane.
I mean, mod conflicts are never really a problem, so you'll be safe there. Yeah. So like when Fallout 76 comes out, will you be making mods for that when eventually the creation kit 76 appears? Will you be sort of moving on, or do you find you'll have the time to sort of move on, onto that?
Well, Fallout 76, I don't know how it will work in regards of modding, but I'm really looking forward to it, of course, as a modder as well, as a gamer. But the way I see it, you will have to have your own private server to test and install your own mods or mods that others created. So I imagine that having a private server as a mod maker will be some sort of service by Bethesda, maybe for a monthly fee. I don't know. I'm okay with that, actually. But the main difference, I think, will be that you will be the one as the owner of that private server who will install those mods on that server, and there will be a mod list specific to your own private server. And I believe that anyone who joins your private server will have those mods automatically downloaded locally. So I imagine that as individual mod downloads go, for example on Nexus for Fallout 76, there will be a big difference, because I imagine that the ones will the the ones that will download mods for 76 will be the ones who actually own private servers. Not
Nice. And sort of when it was like sort of announced, were you kind of excited about the new Fallout game, or?
Of course. As a big fan of the series and the universe, I'm really excited for Fallout 76, and I'm looking forward to explore the world and the lore and everything. I'm not really a multiplayer gamer, but I'm more like a single player open world gamer, or like I mentioned, point and click adventure games, but. I'm looking forward to it still, and it will be fun, I guess, to play together with friends, to explore the world. I'm really looking forward to the new assets Bethesda created solely for West Virginia. So, as a gamer, I'm excited, absolutely. But at this point, when it comes to Bethesda games, I feel like 95% a mod author and 5% a gamer. So. I don't know how mods will work with Fallout 76. I'm probably a bit more excited about Starfield for this reason.
I mean, are you excited about the hackers and griefers and people will like attack you online? So that's sort of breaking the immersion. So like when you'll go out into the wasteland and have all this immersion, but then you'll find some Russian hacker has broken the sort of protective shield around Vault 76 and then throws a grenade at you. You're looking forward to that.
Based off everything I know about Fallout 76 so far, I'm not so afraid of griefers or trolls. I think these anti-griefing methods Bethesda promised are going to work. For example, when you are sneaking, you won't be seen on the map by anyone. If you killed someone who actually didn't want to engage you, then you will be in a wanted state, and everyone will be able to see you on the map. So I trust Bethesda that they will sort out these potential problems, but I'm optimistic so far.
I mean, obviously they've set up some rules that sound like they work, but like generally, I kind of know the personnel who are working on it, and like the guy who's working on the online component is the guy who works on Star Wars Galaxies, and Star Wars Galaxies was kind of MMO when the whole of Russia and China weren't online. When it was just basically the USA and Europe was online, so there was less hackers and griefers then. So I'm betting when it's released, when Russia and China have full access to the game, it's going to be hell.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not really.
You can work on an anti-griefing mod.
Maybe there will be there will be anti-griefing mods that will be very popular for this very reason, but.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the person who tries to hack CDante.
Thanks.
You're not gonna mess with the master hacker here. You opened up a whole new can of worms.
I take it as a compliment. Thank you.
So you say you're excited about Starfield. Is there anything that you want to see out of that, or any kind of mods that you're thinking of making for that?
Well, we obviously don't know much about Starfield at this point, but
it's in space.
It's in space, absolutely, and it's gonna be some sort. If I know it correctly, it's gonna be some sort of like Star Wars-y space fantasy. So not hardcore sci-fi, but more like a Mass Effect or Star Wars universe, and that sounds cool if. Bethesda pulls it off with cool lore and the universe that I can immerse myself into. And regarding mods, I think. Some of my mods are basically around followers, and I believe there will be followers companions in Starfield as well. I don't know if the settlement system will appear in Starfield or not, but if it does, I will certainly make a version of transfer settlements for Starfield.
I've heard rumors that it's like, they've got the Radiant quest system in Skyrim and Fallout 4 Live. I think there might be like a Radiant planet system where just planets just keep generating and generating. You could come up with like a transfer planets mod. That would be
that sounds cool, yeah. Or a transfer character, where you can export your character, your player from the game, and then others can use it and import it with all the achievements, or the inventory items, or the perks and such.
Have you ever thought of making a companion for Starfield or Fallout 4 or any
Fallout
game?
4, yeah.
I would, yes, but I don't know if I should come up with a brand new character with its own lore and write the scripts and everything, or if I should just work with someone who has great ideas and maybe a voice actor himself or herself, and then just do what I do with scripts and everything else. Because basically I'm obviously not a native speaker, so my character would be if I would make myself as a follower, it should have a thick Hungarian accent, I guess.
Well, in Starfield, we don't know where they're going to be coming from. They could be coming from all sorts of countries.
That's very true.
Could be somebody.
I
mean, you have that. Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to say I also really like the Buttons Companion, mainly because it has a really good characteristic, good charisma for the character, very awesome voice acting, and right now I'm helping Cameron August and Galu Game Lady with the mods, so Buttons would have affinity system as well.
Do you feel that scratches that itch though, that you like? It's the same with Old World Radio, right? You're doing just the programming side of it, but there's somebody else who's handling all the ideas and stuff like that. Do you ever want to or have the desire to make something where it's your ideas, your character, your story, or is the programming side more fun for you?
Problem is always the time, how much time I have for modding.
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel that if I create the scripts and all the lore behind the character like this and everything else, then I don't know, it would be 6 months to create a mod. And I tend to do mods that I can finish in a few weeks max. Of course, I have some working project mods that are, I don't know, in the works for years, but for that reason lately I'm trying to create things that I can finish in the foreseeable future.
Well, see, that's why Starfield would be a good place to start, because you get a head start before the game or the kit even comes out.
That's true.
I know I did that. I know I did that for Fallout 4. I had like about 20 quests and things and characters written before the game came out, and obviously you have to tweak it for the setting and the game and all that stuff. But not before the game came out. Sorry, before the kit came out, right? So you basically have everything sort of lined up. So you said it takes 6 months. Well, I mean, from November to when the kit comes out, like February or March, I mean, that's like a 5-month head start anyway, right? So
that's true. That's true,
like
and
that.
it's a good approach. Maybe I really should prepare for Starfield like that, or maybe Fallout 76. That I just start coming up with ideas and taking notes, and maybe write some scripts for quests or characters. Yeah, because right now, as I mentioned, I'm making this first quest for this Wasteland Codex mod. I really enjoy actually creating quests, so It's one of the best kind of mods out there, I think, quest mods. Especially when someone creates a whole new DLC-sized world space with new characters and new story.
Oh yeah, you're looking forward to like Fallout Miami, Fallout 4.
Absolutely gonna play those. I'm really looking forward to those.
When they're announced, you feel kind of skeptical that they'll ever be made. I mean, what point do you start to feel like, oh, I believe, I think this could be done. I think you guys can put this on the...
I guess trailer could really sell them for me. I don't know if those trailers are actually showing... I don't know what percentage are those mods in regards of finished and created NPCs and quests and such like that, but just looking at those trailers and the new world space they created really looks awesome. So I hope they can finish it. I also hope that at some point Fallout 4 New Vegas will be finished, because like I mentioned, I haven't played much of New Vegas back then, and would be cool to play it for the first time in Fallout 4's engine.
I wouldn't bet on it to be finished, to be honest.
What makes you think that?
Well, I don't know. It's just too big a project, and I don't think they might have, the skills to finally finish the whole thing. Not to mention, just be eventually there'll be so many records in their ESP they'll have to. It won't load. So, I mean, that's one thing, and also I just don't think these things can be finished unless you have a huge amount of dedicated people.
Yeah, and certainly at least a couple of years ahead.
Yeah, definitely, and I think people will just sort of wander off. So they're just like, oh yes, I finally find something else interesting to do. I'll see you later. I hope the world space gets finished. Bye, see you later. So that's generally what happens. For ironically, when I was working on the Capital Wasteland node, that was like probably the most done. We did about like a quarter of the map already, ironically enough. So, but unfortunately, because we became so miserable, I think almost like because we didn't have the voice acting, because Bethesda rightfully told us we couldn't use it. We used that as an excuse to kind of just bail, because we just wanted something else to do, if you know what I mean. So,
yeah.
And it's like almost, because you're working so hard, you just like emotionally, you're like, oh, we can't do the voice acting? Oh no! And we kind of just bail out, so,
Yeah, it breaks you, I can imagine. So the Fallout 4 New Vegas project uses completely new voice acting for
Yeah, they do, and Fallout New Vegas had about 80,000 lines to record and things. And even Obsidian couldn't record it. They hired a whole voice acting company, and it was like they had to record all the voices in 2 months. And that's why obviously you haven't played the game. You said you haven't played the game, but that's why all the voices kind of sound weird in New Vegas. Like why some people don't sound appropriate for that kind of character. It's because like people were just kind of in a queue outside the recording booth saying, read this and read that. So even Obsidian itself, which is a professional company, could get 80,000 lines recorded. It's a huge job. And that's why I'm holding.
There's one guy, I think he's a guard outside Tenpenny Tower. He sounds like he recorded at home. Like, it doesn't sound like a studio. Like, it's kind of shocking.
Is that Roy Phillips? It's not the ghoul, is it?
No, it's not a ghoul. It's a human guard, I think, from what I remember. And, like, I was listening to his... I forgot what mod it was for, but I was, like, doing a comparison with just, like, the vanilla voice files and the an actor that I had recruited, their voice files, just to see how it sounded in comparison, and like the vanilla one sounded way worse. It sounded like it was in a tunnel, and I was like, wait a minute, this is the vanilla one, right? And it's like, yeah, he must have recorded at his home or something. I don't know what happened there, but yeah,
that's nothing compared to Oblivion, where it's like people were like, there's still voice directions and the actors talking to the voice directors in the game. So it's like they talk to the character. Sorry, what's CDante? What are you going to say?
I just wanted to ask if which Elder Scrolls game was when Todd Howard did some voice work as well. Was it Morrowind or some of the other ones?
It was Oblivion.
Oh, okay.
It was in the sort of help, the sort of cell where you keep all the crap, and he's in there, and he says just generic voice lines to test the the barter system and the bribing system and things like that. So that's the one where he's in it, So I never actually played Oblivion myself.
Me neither.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys never play Oblivion. It's an awesome game.
Like I said, it was Fallout 3. It was Fallout 3 for me because I didn't know Bethesda back then. I just knew the Fallout franchise from the original games. So
yeah, that's the same. People probably say the same thing to me about Morrowind. Like, I've never played Morrowind. I'll be like, my first game was Oblivion. I'm like, oh. They'd be like, how can you never play Morrowind? I'm like, well, it just wasn't into Bethesda games.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, Morrowind's amazing. It's the best game ever. And you just watch a video of it, just some guy flailing at some
oh yeah, it's a random
triangle character
attack. Yeah, the dialogue is just like
the Wikipedia hyperlink type.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you probably have to be into it, eh? Fallout 3 was my first, one that feels that I got into, for me.
For me too, yeah.
It's the same as with music. Like, if you hear a band, like, it's their fourth or fifth album is the first one you hear, that's going to be your favorite. And then there's always going to be hipsters who are like, oh, no, they were way better, like, their first or second album. And it's just like, no, that's the one you heard first. So there's more novelty. That's just the way it is,
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of which, I actually, speaking of mods and things, I actually bought, full circle, I played Fallout 3 on the Xbox 360 and thought it was amazing. And I kind of graduated to a PC. I recently bought an Xbox. And the first game I downloaded was Fallout 4, which took about 9 hours to download, which was fantastic.
I recently bought an Xbox as well, just to test my Fallout 4 mods.
That's pretty much why I did it as well. So I was like, oh, now I can finally see what these idiots are complaining about, and finally find out what's the problem. But yeah,
X76 isn't cross-platform though. So are you guys gonna get it on the PC or the
I want to play it on the Xbox and just because it won't be modeled for the PC for 2 months, so I presume at some point I'll just get it for the PC.
Nice. So you can get it for both.
Well, I can't really play these type of games on a controller, so it's PC for me.
I can only play on the controller. I can't play on the keyboard.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you aim?
I play on the keyboard to test. I key on the keyboard to test, but generally when I want to relax, I just play on the controller and I don't care if I'm shooting into the sky because I just use VATS or something like that. But the keyboard is just
I don't know. I learned how to control these type of games back in the 90s with Quake and Doom and games like those, and I could never imagine myself playing a first-person game with a controller ever since.
Yeah, it'd be fine for melee, but for shooting you need to aim, so it's
I really felt this also the drawback of using the controller is I really felt the economic downturn. So first, the Xbox, it's not like old console games where you have to pay £60 for every game you played, basically. Mm-hmm. Generally, there's passes where you can download fairly newish games for free. The only cost is 10 hours of your life, and to watch the download bar. But playing Fallout 4, it's just we used to getting Far Harbor and all these expansions for about, what was it, 20 quid or something? But now it's Far Harbor is £20 on the Xbox, and you're like, no, I'm not paying for it. You got Fallout 4 for free. But Far Harbor, and it's £20, Automatron's £10. Let alone the Creation Club stuff where you're just no.
Yeah, recently I released a mod called Ninja Smoke Bombs, and it requires Nuka World because I used an animation from Nuka World. So Nuka World DLC is a requirement, and
I watched that. Yeah, is that the thing where you just throw? Oh yeah, it's the ghoul magician. He throws.
Yes, exactly that animation, and that's why it is a hard requirement, the DLC, on consoles and on PC as well. And someone just commented on the Xbox mod page that he can't install it because some requirements are not installed, and I wanted to comment that it's been 2 years why he never bought at this point Nuka World should
Yeah,
be
but that
like
could be me. Who's
I
just like,
don't.
I'm not paying £20 for Nuka
Yeah,
World.
and then I checked it, and I was shocked that Nuka World on the Xbox is still 15 or 20 bucks or something like that. So yeah, I can understand if someone doesn't want those DLCs.
That's like a full-on expansion pack
Yeah,
price. I
yeah.
mean, Jesus. Yeah, I mean, like, the whole Fallout New Vegas is about £5. Like, all the DLCs and everything, like, was it 800 hours, 200 hours of stuff? Yeah. But yeah, now when people say I don't have this, I'm just like, okay, sorry.
Yeah, I can understand now because really I thought it was gonna be like an I don't know $5 or something like that, and
Yeah.
I also remember back in 2015 when I bought the season pass for Fallout 4 and PC, it was like $35 or something like that for all the.
Well, I think that's the sort of financial goal. They'll sell the main. Eventually, they'll sell the main game for basically nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And the DLCs are still full price. And if you want the full experience, it's like, you're going to pay for the full DLCs. And it's like, but then, the joke's on them because Mass Effect Andromeda didn't have any DLCs. So, because it's so shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, have you ever tried, like, instead of using a requirement, like, you use game.get form from file? Like, sorry, audience listening, we're going to use some, but there was going to be some papyrus talk in here. So, did you ever, like, use that? Like, play this animation, get this form from this ESM, and then, but otherwise just stand still and let the smoke bomb go off. Have you ever thought about doing that?
I'm regularly doing mods like that, so compatibility isn't an issue because I just check if certain plugins are installed or not. And for example, not so long ago, I released a mod that changes the voice frequency of the player, and the problem with that is if any other mod adds a slow time effect, a custom slow time effect, like a magic effect or something to the game, I have to be aware of those effects and reset the frequency after that slow time effect was finished. So and with the Wasteland Codex as well. For example, the codex is compatible with your Hellfire Armor mod, Rich, because
Nice.
I just check if that mod, that plugin is installed, and if so, then I don't know, wearing that armor or finding that armor also unlocks the Hellfire lower article in the codex. So yeah,
It's really cool. It really, yeah. Sorry, go on.
so I do a lot of compatibility scripts like that.
Yeah, I love them to death. It's just like it's like when you're trying to like play an old game like Fallout 3 and stuff like that. It's such an old game that all the sort of mods are in various generations, so they're all extremely incompatible with one another. So just building a load order is the worst experience of your life. So like get form from file is like this is such a lifesaver because it doesn't require requirements. You don't need to have conflicts with other mods because you just script inject everything and they all just sort of mesh in one big soup, and there's never really a problem. Which makes me even more sad that it's gone, that mods have become like, Fallout 4 mods have become like Fallout 3, where everything requires another mod, and no one really seems to sort of take advantage of the fact that you can communicate with other mods to not, to make things not conflict, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, basically I'm trying to aim for creating mods that are not conflicting with anything else and not dependent on anything else, and I'm trying to always not edit anything vanilla.
Yeah, I mean, the bane of my life as a sort of power armor modder is the AWKCR. I don't know if you've ever had any.
The armor and weapon community keyword or something like that. I don't know what's the abbreviation exactly.
Well, to start with, like, Bethesda released Fallout 4 for some reason with like 100 keywords or something like that. And everyone just sort of panicked and went, oh god, that means we can't use a keyword for, like, a new mod add-on or whatever for their armor and things like that. So, like, some people came up with, we'll just use we'll just share a keyword across multiple mods. Then, like, a week afterwards, Bethesda released a patch with 1 million keywords, and then suddenly AWKCR wasn't really a thing anymore. but unfortunately AWKCR was the most popular mod and didn't really incline to tell anyone about this new thing. So they sort of went on with the idea that there's still an issue in the game. And then the mods come under new authorship. And under this new author, they decided to remove the lining keyword from the power armor in the vanilla game.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, my mods use that lining keyword.
So your mod is still dependent on the old one.
On the old game, yeah, on the main game, yes, as every other mod naturally should be, feel like they can, parent to the main game, but like, yeah, so every time when someone takes my armor to a power armor bench or whatever, it's like, oh, this mod has nothing to add because the guy's removed the lining keywords from the main game. So it's gotten to the point where it's just like people are expecting me to change my mod because this guy dominates the whole of it's such a huge mod, obviously, from being there for years and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, in situations like this, I try to upload up additional optional patches as well for a certain degree, but within reason. Because otherwise users will just comment all the time.
Well, I could always use modern technology against AWKCR and use get form from file on the AWKCR.
Yeah. That's
and
true.
Use a pop-up note to say, you have AWKCR installed. This mod is cancer. You won't be able to run XO2 and XO3 while this mod's installed. So yes, I've been thinking about doing that, but unfortunately I've got work and things like that.
Well, lately, when I released actually this smoke bomb mod, I created two types of the base form of the smoke bomb. One that has the keywords added dynamically by a script, and another one that doesn't. And also in their names are those prefixes, like I don't know, maybe grenade or something like that, to also be compatible with sorting mods. But if you don't have sorting mods installed, then the mod automatically uses the other one without the prefix.
Can you add a warn keyword to a thing, like, because obviously weapons have warn and armor, to it via script? I don't think you can, or maybe you know better. I mean, regarding that.
Well, I don't know if you can add it dynamically to outfits.
You can create an object mod with the keywords and then add the object mod via script. You could do that, or is that what you did, or?
I think what I did was adding the right keyword from that plugin, if it's installed, of course, on the, I think, the on-init event of that of the actual smoke bomb weapon, and it worked. So I guess you can do that as well by adding those keywords via script, and then you don't have to create patches or make your mod dependent on other mods.
Although if you did do that for Nuka World, like if you just made it check to see if it was installed and then the animation wasn't there, like the user would, instead of complaining about not being able to install it, they'd be complaining that it doesn't work.
Well, yeah, but you can always add it as a requirement to the mod page, so
you can always take the animation at the archive.
They should be able to see that it requires Nuka words, so they can still complain in the comments.
My point is, people are going to complain no matter what.
Yeah, of course. And you can also always have the option to turn off comments.
Yeah, you can always ban them. Send them a mean reply. There's plenty of ways.
Well, you can't turn off comments on Bethesda.
That's true. You can just ignore them.
Yeah, exactly. You can by just not visiting the page.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Well done. You've now created your place. But yeah, I mean, Bethesda comments are just literally like 4 out of 5, or is this available on PS4? And it's like, yes, go over there, go look. It's not. Okay. So, is there anything else you'd like to talk about? CDante, anything you else like to cover?
Well, I mentioned that I want to add some new features for transfer settlements. One of the more interesting upcoming feature would be that I want to solve the issue of Xbox players actually being able to export their settlements. and I want it to do. I want it done with the use of Hood framework by Registrator 2000, and I want the data to be exported as a form of a QR code sequence. So on Xbox you will be able to export your settlement by just using your smartphone and
Wow.
saving that QR code sequence as a text file that will be a data file that then you can import into your PC.
There's too many steps. You're too many steps for too many users. They're gonna comment. They're gonna say my phone doesn't work. CDante.
Well, I will
fix my phone.
I have a YouTube channel which is slowly growing. I'm aiming to reach 1,000 subscribers right now. I'm like 20 or 30 subscribers shy, and
Nice.
I in these cases I try to upload a tutorial video which would explain these processes in detail.
Oh, there you go. You got to make it more complicated then. So then they have to visit the tutorial. It's like my quests for interesting NPCs are so complicated just to start that people have to come to my website and look at the wiki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All part of the plan.
So, we're almost coming for an hour. So to finish with, I thought we could talk a little bit about the wider modding community. How do you feel about Patreon pages for mods? You a fan of them, or?
Well, I do have one.
Oh wow! Okay.
I think I have like 3 patrons right now, or 2. I don't know.
Oh yeah, what is the link for those who we put in the description, but is it patreon.com CDante?
CDante modding. Same as with
CDante
YouTube, youtube.com per CDante modding. Same as with Facebook, facebook.com per CDante /CDante modding. Well,
I'm gonna become a patron right now.
Yes, as am I. Well, I was a big fan of Brandoman's Patreon page. It was truly the best experience of 2016, I would say. My favourite was, this is not a paywall, but if you do not pay money, you won't get the mod. That was one of my
it
favorite,
wasn't actually like that. The mods were always
It was a little bit
always
like
free, but I think
it was always free, but it might not come if you don't donate.
I think he provided some MP3 versions of some radios for patrons, if I remember correctly.
The mod is still free, but if you don't pay for my meteor protection roof, I won't be allowed to give you the mod.
Come on, you give a lot of shit to the guy.
So you loved it, CDante. You were just like, this is the best boss I've ever had. This is the best person I've ever worked with.
I wouldn't call him my boss.
Yeah, I didn't mean that way. It was the best person I've ever worked with. Like, he's the best modding partner, I would say. So I wouldn't say.
My best modding partner would be, I don't know, maybe when I worked together with Expired and Reg2K on transfer settlements, because they helped me a lot with mainly with script extender stuff. So yeah, I dodged the question, I know.
And right now, Shoddycast is like still a good
of
part,
course,
as long as
yeah, but they are. I don't consider them the modders. I consider them content creators. But yeah, I love working with them as well.
All right, we'll come in for an hour. Chris, do you have any more questions for CDante? Anything?
No, I'm good.
All right, CDante, thank you for coming on to Modcast. It's been an honor to listen to you. Sorry about the jokes.
Thank you for having me. It's been an honor, and I really appreciate you guys and everything you do for this community.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you in episode 16 when we interview Random Man. Okay, bye.
Bye.